Okay, so this is my detailed look into my fan fiction, Act 2. Um, I did Act 1. Act 1 composed of 1 to 4 chapter 1 to 4 to be a guard. Act 1 is called, this is Act 2. The fan fiction I said in the last one was the Tales of Krimzon Guard. I changed it to the Krimzon Guard Tales. No, Krimzon Guard Tales. Um, Easier to find and stuff that way, I guess. I was told. So, here's the thing. This is going to be a kind of a detailed look onto the fan fiction of Act 2. So in Act 1, we had Thomas Flair, Cutter, his brother, a friend they made, kind of like a friend, EJ from, and Jake, that all kind of became Crimson Guards. They were promoted, and even though they're not the most experienced people, they did do a heroic act and saved Errol. So yeah. Anyway, this one, Act 2, is from chapter 5 to 8. Not very big again. It's called The Baron's Plan. Alright, so chapter 5 is called Kras City Threat. Really? Where we left off is, remember, they were going to the Baron was going to the council to try getting help to get power to fight the metalheads because of the attack and the increasing attacks. So as they're going up to the council, a guy from Kras City is there in the elevator, and I go to explain the origins of Kras City, because Kras City has all these Mar kind of things, but it never really says if Kras City was part of like Haven City. And apparently, according to what this is my idea, Mar created Haven City first and Kras City. He created an empire to although most of the empire was lost to the metalheads after he died. Kras City and most of the metalheads destroyed one by one of Mar's great empire until a civil war happened between Mar's bloodline in Haven City and Kras City people, and they ended up breaking away from each other, and the two haven't contacted the two just don't contact each other much, and it's a very kind of hostile situation. Really, so they get into the council after that, and the guy, and they listen to it, they listen to his little speech or whatever, and the next they're listening to stuff, and the secretary of the council states that they had the visitor from Kras City, and the guy stands up, about how he needs help, blah blah blah, and suddenly a shot's fired, and a guy named Commander Kendall shot him, the Kras City guy, saying, "Let them come. I will do the same to any traitor of Mar that enters the city." So that really shows the hostility of but in Kras City there's a gang taken over, led by a man named Mizo, I don't, M-I-Z-O, Mizo, whatever. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't really know. Anyway, it really shows but King Dinos calls it to order, of course, gets mad about, someone getting killed in the thing, but he is from Kras City, so the Haven City people don't really care that much. And to deal with that, the council instead of taking action, sending people to Kras City to help out the representative of the government or whatever that's trying to fight Mizo's gang, they decide to give money to the Stone Guard, who is, remember, the border patrols, so that they can, keep really that works against the Baron practice, because there's only a limited funding that the council is willing to give, and it went to the Stone Guard, not the Krimzon Guard. So Baron doesn't even stand up. Neither is Baron's format, Count Viger. They just stay still, and at the very end, Baron comes up with a plan. And then Chapter 6 is Crumbling Stones in the Way, still part of Act 2. This is where actually it tells of Baron's plan. Baron, of course, after the meeting, calls a meeting amongst just the Krimzon Guards, where our main character attends, of course, because he is one. I mean, duh, you know. And anyway, Baron Praxis comes up with a pretty evilish plan. He is actually going to go into Kras City and get Mizo's gang to come into Haven City, help them break into Haven City, and then and the Krimzon Guard's not going to help. Of course, the Stone Guard that's going to try to fight them because of the border patrol, which when if and it's seen like Kras City people can easily walk into the city, the Stone Guard will probably lose almost all control and be replaced. With Baron Praxis, through power, will probably get the job of to take over both of those. So now he'd be both the Krimzon Guard, which is right now the guard just kind of outside attacking, dealing with the metalheads and foreign kind of affairs, which aren't very much other than the metalheads. And then he would also become the Stone Guard, which would be the border patrol, which would increase his power and increase, but also using it under the mask of, it has to be done to destroy the metalheads. So our person sees it as a necessary kind of thing. Richard, our hero's father, who is just under Torn Arrow, of course disagrees with this because he's more of a more kind of ethical man, but he gets drowned out by everyone else. So everyone heads out to Kras City. All the Krimzon Guards leave Haven City so they won't get blamed, and so that when stuff hits the fan that Kras City people are sneaking in and getting into the city, it won't be blamed on the Krimzon Guard. It will be the Stone Guard's fault, and even maybe the Krimzon Guard can come in and kick them out, just telling them to go home pretty much because they made a deal with them, or killing them but betraying them, and so that they look like the heroes and get money, funding because everyone wants to be funded by the council. Chapter 7 is called Guests of Mizo. Our main character, and this chapter isn't very good. I had to take a long time to write it, and it's very small, not very well written, very poorly written, and I'm sorry for that. Anyway, the Guests of Mizo, Razor and Torn meet and discuss about apparently beyond our character's knowledge, the Krimzon Guard's gonna do something to get in exchange for Baron's plan to work. They're probably gonna help Mizo take over Kras City, which he's already pretty much doing. But in exchange to make sure that there's no betraying or anything throughout this, and that Baron Praxis keeps his word, he sends our character Cutter And then I got another two guys named Alex and Grim. Grim we've talked about before. Alex is a new guy. Belong. I decided I pretended I was blind, looking for my mind, wanted to be there. It's alright. Sorry about that. Just kind of losing myself in the music, you know. Anyway, where was I? I was at Anyway, so pretty much are those and edges along too, of course. Probably them because they just kind of graduated. They can't well, they just kind of got promoted. Didn't even really go through the entire training, so they're kind of the weakest probably guards there are. Some of them, and so they are probably chosen. That's why to be kind of held as hostages, and pretty much it's not only a hostage more situation as Shiv, again from Jack X, of course, you know, Shiv, the other racer other than Edgy and Cutter that is added in, Shiv and them pretty much just drink together. For the first time, few times, our character Thomas Flair takes part, but then he eventually decides to leave his brother that's drinking with Shiv for just to talk with Jake and Alex and Grim. Edgy's drinking too, of course. So really, I guess, you know, the Jack X gang's together right now because Shiv, Edgy, and Cutter, except they don't know it yet. Kind of ironic, I guess. I didn't even think about that just now. But anyway, and that kind of ends chapter 7. Chapter 8 is, again, remember how I said about the last chapter 4 and the notes of remember, you get to this by going under Krimzon Guard Facebook, the notes section, and going into the notes section, and then called Krimzon Guard Tales, and then it'll be Act 2, blah blah blah. The other ones are in that. I'm gonna try putting it on the comments section. I don't really know if that will work, or you know, or even maybe in the description. I don't really know if I can do that, but if I can't, that's where they are. Anyway, anywho, I always like saying that. I don't know why, it's just so funny to say. Anywho, young chaps. I don't even know what that came. Anyway, anywho, chapter 8 is called Reasons, and really it's a just kind of why did they become why did they become Krimzon Guards, like the 4 of them that are there. You find out that Cutter is kind of a complete partier, more of, and he kind of is with a girl in the next room, while our character is just kind of sitting there mellow and talking to his, you know, 3 other guards are just kind of like, well, now what do we do now, you know? So they kind of just have the you realize that Grim and Alex are best friends. They are very close together. The best friends. Anyway, they end up, you know, why you know, did you join? Also, a lot of it's is the Baron Praxis plan really right? I mean, the plan is to sacrifice the Stone Guard people, and even having city civilians probably will get killed in the crossfire when the Kras City people kind of sneak in, and you know, why Kras City needs to sneak in, it's not explained yet, but it's they probably want to kill off, they want to probably hurt Crew who's in the city so they can gain more control in Kras, because Crew has some, you know, power in Kras City still, and yeah, so hasn't been explained yet though, but they want to get in, of course, also, if they can take over both cities, that'd be great for them too. If they could double cross, Baron Praxis and take over both cities, which probably won't happen, but always, Mizo can be a pretty, I think he's pretty ambitious man, I would say. Anyway, you learn Alex's backstory, kind of a tragic backstory about, as a child, where Krimzon Guard pretty much saves his life as he watches his family die, and he swears that's why he wants to become a Krimzon Guard. And then he met, and in a foster care, he met Grim, and they became friends, and that's really Alex's story. Alex is not going to be a major character, but Grim is going to be somewhat of a major character, so that's why it's really kind of important, I think, to tell Alex's story. And that's about it. Oh, and then it leaves off with kind of a cliffhanger almost, with after they're all talking, and of course, why did our character Thomas Flare join the Krimzon Guard? Is because, well, his father is kind of almost a leader of the Krimzon Guard. It's kind of what he was brought up to do. He didn't really have a choice. It was just kind of like assumed that he and Cutter would train hard and not they didn't really associate with many other people. They'd train hard and become Krimzon Guards. I mean, that's what they would do. And Jake joined the guard because he just wanted to get out of the slums, and he was a boy born in the poor region, and it was his way out. Anyway, so that's really their backstories. Arcade kind of goes into how he is kind of jealous of even Grim's and Alex's relationship of friendship, because he doesn't have that. He's never really had that, because his brother is pretty much just his brother and him aren't really that close, it appears. And somewhat but anyway, it kind of ends with so she screamed out the window, ran up to here, so sick and tired, wondering where I'll be next year. Anyway, almost done with this part, so don't leave yet. It is right now 3:30 in the morning, and I've just been writing. And whenever I'm writing, I don't know, writing kind of makes my mood change, I'm more, I don't know, it's just kind of, no, I'm not on anything, just to let you know, but, caffeine, but, I'm kind of addicted to caffeine, just to let you guys know. I can't stay away from pop and sugar. Yeah. So that ain't very good addictions. But anyway, it ends off with a cliffhanger of kind of a cliffhanger, kind of not, of where Act 3 is gonna start out with, and well, here it is. Great news, little bro. Cutter comes in stumbling, of course. He just spent all and before I say anything, a couple of Kras City passes are thrown on the table, and with a single glance, I knew trouble was coming. Trouble was coming. So, it's just, it doesn't say what, and I haven't written what, but I think it's pretty obvious. Well, probably not pretty obvious, but just think of what Kras City is known for and what you do in Kras City, and it's gonna be I was kind of you know, should I put, you know, it into it, the story, but I was advised to do it and I wanted to do it, so yeah, it's also gonna show why, and it's gonna be easier to say why, you know, eventually Cutter's gonna join this Kras City crew, and Edge's gonna join the Kras City crew very soon. So it's gonna be easier to explain, you know, why they're, you know, so willing to, you know, betray the Krimzon Guard for Kras City, if, you know, it's added in. So, you know, without hinting on it, kind of like, you know, tiptoeing around it, you know. Anyway, this video is done pretty much of Krimzon Guard stuff. I'd like to give credit to Rise Against Again. This is their CD of Lost Forgotten Songs, B-sides and covers 2000 to 2013. Really, it's the newest CD, and it is the best CD I think they've come out with, even though it's just a bunch of old songs. A lot of songs are great. Really, I love this CD. It is amazing. But really, a lot of great songs are on here. I'll probably do some of these songs eventually into Jack videos, but not yet. Such as Historia Comitatum, I don't really know how to say that, or even Blind, which I was singing along to earlier. Sorry, Generation Lost is a great song. Dirt and Roses is great. Sight Unseen, Lanterns, Join the Ranks, Give It All, Obstructed View, and But Tonight We Dance. Jeththeming, I don't really know how to say that again, but that's a great song. But then also, like, some of the covers are even like amazing, because it's like how often you get to see like your rock band play Any Way You Want It by Journey. Like, it's just kind of funny, you know. It's cool. And also they play Silver, and oh, and Making Christmas, like the Making Christmas, da da da, like, you know, from that, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling now, and hope you'll enjoy the fan fiction. Stay tuned to next Friday. This is the beginning of Act 3, really. Act 3 and so far these chapters are pretty much like I mean, these acts are like 4 chapters for an act, and then so it'd be I guess each act about 4 weeks. So this is the ending of Act 2. Again, it is in the notes of the Krimzon Guard page under Krimzon Guard Tales, Act 2, and Act 2 is called The Baron's Plan. Recap of it. It's just, most of it, it's not about even our main character. It's about the Baron practices his plan to be able to take control, pretty much. I think it's worth looking into, you know. And I am another crook, so thank you and good night, my little peoples. Actually, not my little peoples. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I said that. That's not, you know. Take two, like, you know. Anyway. Anyway you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Goodbye, people. Ending. Can't stop this thing.
Be remembered as the man who lost this city to those vile creatures!